In this video, we will see that how we can calculate the section properties for the composite section, which is having a plane type as well as the line type section. And for that, we will be using the SPC command available in the MIDAS CAD. The SPC command is also available in MIDAS CAD Infra Design. So now we will type SPC in the command line, which is a shortcut for the section property calculator. This type of menu tile shall appear on the screen. And for defining the section, we'll click on the Add option. Now we'll select the entire cross section. So first, before defining the composite section, we need to go with the layer by layer procedure. So first we will define the plane type section, and after that we will be defining the line type section. And after defining both this plane and the line type section, we will be defining the composite section. So first of all, we will defining the concrete deck. So we'll assign the name as concrete deck. We will choose the section type as plane. And for choosing the objects, we will select the external object option. Now using the cursor cross selection, we will select all the boundary lines containing the concrete element. Once the selection is completed, press the space key to go back to the SPC menu panel. So the preview can be seen over here. Now, one important note is about the length unit before calculating the civil section properties. If your drawing is in meters, kindly change the length unit from millimeters to meter. And if your drawing is in millimeters, then change the length unit to millimeters. And similarly, for the inches and the feet, if your drawing is in inch or the feet dimensions, then you, before calculating the civil section properties, you need to change the length unit from the millimeters to the respective length units. So currently our drawing is in millimeters, so we'll keep the millimeter as the length unit. And now we will calculate the civil section properties. The section properties are calculated. Now we'll click on OK. So we are back to the SPC main panel. Now we will click on Add menu again, Add option again to define the line type section for the steel eye girder. So first we will select the steel eye girder and we'll press the space key. We'll assign the section name as steel girder, and this time the section type is line type section. We will be defining the thickness for the steel girder, so we'll choose this option, and using the cursor cross selection we will choosing the center line of the steel eye girder. Once the selection is completed, press space key on the keyboard. Now in the command line, it will ask for enter selected object thickness. So we need to define the thickness for this particular steel girder. So we will define the thickness as 15 mm and we'll press the space key. Now once you press the space key, a temporary preview of the thickness will appear on the steel eye girder. If you are done with the definition of the line type section, you just need to press E on the keyboard and press the space key to go back to the SPC menu panel. Since our unit is in millimeters, we will keep this length unit as millimeter and we'll calculate the civil section properties. But before calculating the civil section properties, in the line type section, we are having a option for defining the flange and the wave groups. So for that, we just need to check on this option, created with steel design type. So if you check on this option, a menu panel shall appear beside the define line type section, which is design group setting. If you go over there, you can define different type of groups like top flange group, bottom flange, and the wave groups are there. So first of all, we will check off this right wave group option. We don't need this. And to define the top flange group sections, we will just click on this selection icon. We'll hover the mouse to this section. Once you click on this line, two options will appear over here. One is polylines and another one is polylines. Once you click or choose this polyline, the entire section is being selected. Kindly choose this polyline only. Similarly, for this one, if you select the line, the two options shall appear. One is containing only a single polyline, and another option will contain the entire flange section. Now we'll select this section and we'll press the space key. And top flange groups are being assigned for the section. Similarly, we can go for the bottom flanges. We'll choose this polyline and we'll press the space key. And at the last, we will choose the wave option. Now we will calculate the civil section properties. And after the section properties being calculated, we'll click on the OK button to exit the SPC menu panel. Now we are back to our SPC main panel. So we have defined the plane type section and the line type section with the design inputs. And now we will defining the composite section, which will be the composition of both this concrete deck and the steel eye girder. So we'll click on add option. We will select the entire composite section now. We'll assign the section name as composite and we'll choose the section type as composite. Before defining the material setting, let us first change the unit system for our convenience. Currently the unit system is in Newton and millimeters. So we will change the Newton to kilonewton and millimeters to meter. Defining the material properties, and using this three dot option, we can define the material properties. So first we will define the concrete, which is having a modulus of elasticity as 3,522 and 4 times 0, with a Poisson's ratio of 0.23 and the density as 25. Same with the steel. The modulus of elasticity is 210 6 times 0. The Poisson's ratio will be 0.3 and the density will be 76.98 kilonewton per meter cube. We will choose the steel as the base material and click on the OK button. Once you click on OK button, a preview shall appear over here, and in the menu panel over here, you can see the ID is 1, concrete deck. You can choose which section to be defined for the concrete material and for the steel material. Simultaneously, if you want to change the material only, then you can change the material from over here. So currently concrete is assigned for the concrete material and the steel eye girder has been assigned for the steel material. We will keep it as it is. Now before calculating the civil section properties, we will just change the unit from the kilonewton to Newton and meters to millimeter because our drawing is in millimeters. We will click on the calculate civil section properties. And once the section properties are calculated, you can directly export it using the SPC export command, and you can later on import it into the either MIDAS civil or civil annex. So we will click on SPC export now, and we'll assign the composite file as composite section. We'll click on save. Now to save this data in MIDAS CAD, you just need to click on OK. So the composite section has been defined. So following these steps, we can easily define the plane type and the line type sections. We can also define the design properties or the design groups like flange groups and the wave groups for the line type sections. And after that, we can compose both these sections and define the composite section.